Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Build and Invest show. Today, I'm going into day 3 of live building my thumbnail AI agent. And just so you understand, what is an AI agent? Why am I calling this a thumbnail AI agent versus just a thumbnail app? So, the idea is this will become part of my team. Just like if I hired a person to do thumbnails, this will be this AI agent's job. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to train this employee to do things the way I like to do them. Because one, I have tried to hire people in the past for this, and I don't think it came out good. I don't think the thumbnails I paid for came out good. These thumbnails are coming out way better, and they're cheaper and faster. And my goal is to automate as much of my content production as possible to create more. Why? Because I believe in the next couple years, AI will flood the internet, and we have a certain amount of time while we get to still be human and build a real audience. I don't know, maybe they start to really crack down on what's AI and what's not, but the truth is, I could already create unlimited AI content if I wanted to. And I'm just ahead of the game. Once people can do it, they will. I'm not doing it out of, I don't know. I just think I like doing this. I want to connect with people, but I can't really create a lot of AI content. I'm just like figuring out what's the good balance to do. But the AI agent thumbnail is important because if you know about YouTube, YouTube is the best social media platform to actually draw in customers. So as a business owner, if you're not on YouTube, I highly recommend you start getting over your comfortability on camera. Get on YouTube. Maybe you don't have to go as crazy as me and go live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. But you should figure out how to get yourself on camera. And there's many different ways. I've seen many different options. There's people who set up fake podcasts where it looks like someone's interviewing them and they're just answering a question, but nobody realizes that's not a real podcast. And that's the way for them to feel comfortable. Because to be honest, when I do this, I'm looking into the camera and I'm speaking like if you're here, that's weird. It's hard to get to that point where you feel like that's normal. I'm still not there, to be honest, and this is what I think about when I'm doing this. Right now, there could be one person watching or a million. So you start to that starts to be in your brain while you're live, right? That's why live is so hard, right? And it's like something will happen in my house, like I got 3 wild animal sons. One can drop something, make a big noise, and I'm like, is somebody hurt? But I gotta keep it going, and I'm thinking I really should check on them, but nobody has come in bleeding, so it's probably fine. So I have to think about all that while I'm still talking to you. So, I'm not in a studio audience, live. So it's tough. But everything is tough, right? Even making scripted videos is tough. And I haven't done that enough because it's hard. I think it might be even harder for me to make a good script, record it, edit it, make it, really good, and then put it out. This is much easier for me. I could just turn on the live and talk about what I'm doing, my day, what I've done, and it's just easier for me. But I am pushing myself to create everything. Shorts, longs, live, edited, scripted, all of that. So thumbnails are a big part of that. So that's why I said I got to build a thumbnail generator. So a thumbnail AI agent where anytime I say, hey, make me an AI agent, it's just like talking to an employee. So let's get back to what I was building and show you. So last night we ended and it still wasn't really doing a good job of changing. Whenever I told it, the server may be down. Yeah, all right. So let me make sure the server's up. It seems like the server's down. Is that right? Can you turn it back on? And again, I talk to these things like that's my tech employee, all right? Hey, the server's down. Can you turn it back on? It's that simple. Think about these things as people you're talking to. And I know it's not a person, But until you get over that feeling like you need to treat it like Google, you are like hindering yourself. First, if it's down, I'll restart and confirm the app is responding. All right, so basically, yesterday we ended and it wasn't doing what I wanted. So this morning, while I was doing a bunch of other stuff, I basically fixed it, I think. We'll see. But I created another thumbnail. I asked it to change it, and I'll show you all that once it gets back on. But also another thing, I've started working with one-on-one with customers. So today I had my first call with one of my customers that are building. So again, my thing is build your employees. So this customer, they're a Stack customer too. They use Stackit.ai to borrow off their crypto, but they have other investments. So what they wanted to do is create a financial planner AI agent. So imagine, right? Most people can't afford financial planners, but now you could create one and you could ask it questions 24/7. It won't charge you anything but tokens. Again, you have to be very careful though, right? Because it could tell you something that is still not built to fully understand. So you got to be very careful about. But this person is pretty savvy with finances, so they'll understand what to do and what not to do. So okay, let's see. Okay, something's wrong here. Let me see if I got that right. Let me maybe try a different browser. I'm gonna try a different browser, see. Okay. This is Navo. Okay, something broke. So when I go to the thumbnail section and I press an option, okay, it just takes a while to load. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that. All right, it loaded. So this should be local though. I wonder if it uploaded it to Navo. All right, so this was the first day. That was the first day. This is yesterday. It's loading. All right, let it do its thing. But basically this morning I got it to somehow finally do what I wanted. And to be honest, it wasn't anything I did different. It's just I kept asking for it to do something. So as you can see, sometimes it makes it and it doesn't look like me, right? So like this one doesn't look like me at all. So I went in here and I told it, make another one that looks like me. And then it made this one. Better, still doesn't look exactly like me, but it's way better than this. So that was what we were trying to figure out yesterday. And I'll be honest, there wasn't anything I said different. I just kept saying, this still doesn't look like me. And what it did was it kept trying different things until it worked. So let's see if this one, if it works. I'll see if this one, if it can do it. Okay. So I'm going to say, first of all, I disagree. This looks like me 0%. 0. Save. Then I'm going to go here and say fix area. Make it look more like my face. Fix. So now it creates a new render. It does the animation, which was something we were trying to get for a while yesterday. So that was something that, you know, it took a couple of more tries than normal. So this is very normal in building with any technology, really. Like even with people. People try things. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It works. Entrepreneurship is like that. Most of life is like that, kind of. So you got to have patience. Just because this thing is faster than most people is still not perfect. Okay, you see something just happen. Did it just make another... Oh, look. I think it... Oh, no. It made me look Chinese this time. So something's happening where it reorders the thumbnails now. So that definitely doesn't look like me. It looks less like me than before. So let's say disagree. So you see, it is still hit or miss. Can you make it look more like Miguel? Let's see if that. And again, the first render did do good. Like, I think these are pretty good. I think that looks like me. That does not look like me. That was the one I updated to look like me. Kinda looks like me. I do look a little more Indian. Doesn't look like me. Kinda looks like me. Not bad. I kinda like that one. Cartoon version of me. Kinda. Kinda looks like me. Not exactly, but pretty close. Same. Pretty close. I don't know why. Maybe I was trying to get that to change. This one definitely didn't look like me and it changed it, so that was good. So there's a little bit of wonkiness with the way the app works that if I was working on this and making it public, I wouldn't want it to work that way. But again, I'm not. It's for me. So I'm okay with the way it like flickers in and out. Maybe one day I'll fix it. I could tell it, hey, the app kind of goes on and off while it's generating. But again, right now, not a big deal to me. What I am thinking about is, so again, what I was doing today while I was doing other stuff is I'm building the content engine to pick the best times of my long. So like right now, I go live for an hour, hour and a half, maybe more. That's a long time. It's a lot of me talking. So what I want the AI to do is go through all that and find the times where it sounds like a good short clip. And I don't want to have to watch a whole hour and a half, 2 hours, hour. So the AI could do that, right? That's an employee that I would have to hire to do that. Hey, either be live while I'm going live, and anytime you hear me say something good, you mark that, and then we'll make that into a short. Or after I'm live, watch the video, go over everything, pick the best. And I've tried to hire people to do that. Nobody wants to do that. And, you know, by the time you get to the level where it makes sense that people will pay, they would accept the money to do it, it doesn't make sense, right? Unless you are making millions and millions of dollars and you can pay somebody a salary and say, okay, this is part of your job. It just doesn't work. But now, I have an AI employee that's doing it. And what it's been doing is, there was a real reason the thumbnail page was slow because every project load was recomputing the full project-wide thumbnail. Wow. I changed that. I guess here's a good time to say the website also blinks, like goes from black to images every like few seconds. And I don't know if it's new or it's just when it's rendering. Can you see why that's happening? Because that seems pretty related. First uncached load is 10 seconds. And this is all local, so pretty crazy. So it's still not great, right? It's making new images, but it don't look like me still. But when it made new images, it did. It's still generating, so let's see what happens at the end. And this morning when I got this back, I was like, oh, all right, it did kind of, it fixed it from this to that. That's pretty good. But I guess not yet. Another thing I did was I said the fact that you have click-through rates percentage up here, if you can see that, this is very important because when you make a thumbnail, the thumbnail and the title are the main reason people click to watch a video. So I wanted the AI to look at the image and tell me how likely it thought the click-through rate would be, what that percentage would be. So in the beginning, it was making them all the same percent. So I said, there's no way you think all of these have the same exact percent likelihood of click-through rate. can you give me your opinion on what you think the highest click-through rates are? So what it's doing now, and that's why it's moving them, I see now. It's basically ranking them by highest level of click-through rate. So this one has the highest of 8.8%. This one has 8.3. This one has 8.32, but it doesn't look like me. 8.1, but it doesn't look like me. Because again, I'm trying to make 3, right? So I'm going to like test 3 out for every video. So I want the top 3 it thinks. Because again, I could look and say, oh, I think that one looks better, but AI just knows more than I know. It might just know something that I don't know. So and this is the Google API. So Google's going to know some stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so it's rendered. Did it render? I guess it did finish. Okay, it's doing something. But this does look like the best one. I like this one a lot. It's pretty cool. This one, decent too. Okay, remove both those. I could go with this one or this one. And that's good enough. So then let's start today's title. What I picked for today's title is... For today's title, I picked Day 3. Alright. So we're going to make a new one. And we're going to launch. So let's see. Because my ultimate goal is the content video. And I also did this, which is awesome. I'm on my Mac. And then the Mac Mini goes live. Is where the 24/7 agent is. My laptop comes with me everywhere, so I have to close it so it can't run 24/7. But the Mac Mini can. So whenever I go live on my laptop. My laptop, as soon as I'm done, sends the file to my Mac Mini. The Mac Mini takes that file, it transcribes it, it does a timestamp, and then it says, here's the clips I think are the best. So what I was doing today, what I was going back and forth with it today is training it on what are the best clips. So it would give me a clip and I would say, I don't really love that opening or I don't love that ending. So then it was learning, okay, so when it's like this, don't use the opening like this. When it ends like that, don't end it like that. Look for a better ending. So I was going, it was basically giving me the clips it thought from past videos and I was training it. And once the training I feel is good, I will say, okay, you're ready to do this automatically. So again, it's like training an employee, which is hard. Training employees is hard. So again, not looking a lot like me here, but this one looks like me. That one looks a lot like me actually, I think. That's a pretty good one, I think. And again, it's going to let them all render. Then it's going to give the click-through rate score. This just doesn't look like me at all. This looks a little bit, again, it usually makes me look Indian or black, not Hispanic, or more Hispanic. Mexican. So it makes me look Mexican, Indian, or black, not Puerto Rican. I think also this is because of the training, right? If you think Puerto Ricans have like a bunch of different ethnicities combined in a way, that's why we look how we look. So I think the AI agents can't really understand what to do. But okay, see, this was a bad one. 3 came up that didn't even look like me. So I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to give it a screenshot and tell it, why is this happening? All right, that's pretty good. I could have won these 3. All right, let it do its scoring now. This 92%. See, it recognizes this really looked like me. Thought this was 95%. Wrong. 25, 25, 25, 95. Kind of does look like me a little bit. More than this one. So, okay, it's done. It's doing the click-through rate now, I think. Okay, click-through rate. Yeah, 8.8. I agree. 8.7. See, so it made this one. It thinks this one is better. All right. So, this one thinks that one is the best. Okay. And I think it does look, I mean, a little bit, I guess, not exact. But again, how you got to think about this is it's not going to be perfect. This is the worst it will ever be. So, right now, I'm putting in the groundwork for having a system that one day will make perfectly looking like me thumbnails for pennies automatically. I'll create a video. I might be able to go live in the middle of the street, walking in the park, send it to my AI agent. It will transcribe it, pick the best parts to make shorts. It will make the thumbnail, post it to YouTube. If I go long, it might say this could be a podcast. Let's turn it into a podcast. Upload it to your podcast. All of that can be done. These are all jobs, right? These are all things that I would have to either do myself or hire people to do. I think about it like that. Each one of these things, thumbnail is a job. Editing is a job. Posting, scheduling, putting all the right words, copy, that's all jobs. I'm not taking away jobs because I haven't hired anybody to do that, but I wouldn't have been able to do it because I couldn't afford to pay all those people to do that. When you have a business, like I said, making millions of dollars, you could decide to do that. But most business owners don't decide that either. They don't decide to put their money into content. But this one, I think it came out good, but I'm still going to let it know. Because everything is training, right? You're teaching the AI how of what you want, right? So I think the 3 that look like me look really good. One kind of looks a little bit not like me, but the fact that 3 didn't look like me at all, I really want that fixed. And it seems like it keeps making me look kind of like that. So why is it doing that? Can we fix that? So it's like it keeps making a certain look of that person. This type of person. Like if you look at the other one that was wrong, I guess this one similar, right? More hair, more probably Mexican looking than me, Puerto Rican. But again, I know I'm a weird looking guy. But it does kind of seem to be copying this same look whenever it gets me wrong. But I would go with these 3. I'm probably going to use these 3, actually. I'm cool with that. Looks good. So, okay, now let's go to what else did I want to do. Let's figure out the next feature. If you got feature requests, let me know. Even though I'm using it. But I think this feature request is the best one to do next. So, if you know about YouTube, if you're a YouTube creator specifically, or a business owner or content creator, you should really learn how YouTube thumbnails work. And one of the things you will see a lot is once a thumbnail, you start to see it a lot, it usually means that creators have found out that this one is a good thumbnail to use. So I'm going to try to find an example of what I mean by that. And I'm going to try to get this app to also create those type of thumbnails. When we see, okay, I've seen this thumbnail like 5-6 times. That means people know that this thumbnail works. Make a version like that for me. And then I can say, okay, right now, this is a trending thumbnail style. For now, make one of the 6 or 10 like this. So, and again, this is just for me trying to do the job myself, right? And this is where, like, I think you have to think about it like an entrepreneur, which means you learn the job and then you teach other people how to do it. Or your hope is you hire somebody that knows how to do it. But the problem is if you don't hire them to do it the way you need it, they'll come with the way they did it in their last job. And that might not work for you, for your business. So it's good for you to understand, okay, I need it like this. I know you did it like that in your job, but your old job, but now here's how we do it. And that's a good thing. You create what's called SOPs. In a way, what I'm doing right now is I'm creating an AI SOP, but instead of a person doing it, The AI agent is doing it. And I had another unlock today that was pretty cool. In working with my my OpenClaw 24/7 employee, I realized that it was starting to like understand what I normally would say. So it's starting to learn from what I've been asking it to do. So I was like, oh man, so what's going to eventually happen is there's going to be an AI agent that acts as me. And I'm going to be able to say, you know what I would do. Just do it. And that's what ends up happening when you get to the end of, that's the final boss of business, right? Replacing yourself from the entire business. So I already see that it's starting to do that. So this is why I recommend so much you get started with all of this. Start building your own AI employees. Again, I got a free community. I got a class. I'm doing one-on-ones if you want help there. But join the free community first. We do lives every Thursday. But the truth is, the data I'm building up over the last 3 months that this can all now learn from and become a duplicate of me is invaluable. And think about it. If you start today, you got 3 less months of data than I have. So my compounding is growing at more because I've got 3 months. Next month will be your 1 month, will be my 4th month. Now, imagine you wait a year before you start playing around with this. It's going to be hard to catch up, if it's possible at all. And catching up, I don't mean like you're going to get left behind. I just mean, if you want to be, as entrepreneurs, we're very competitive, right? We want to be the best we can be. We want to make as much money as we can make. If you're not in here, how are you competing? That's like saying I want to play basketball and, I'm not going to the gym ever. Not going to happen. Okay, it's still working. It's been 5 minutes. What's taking you so long? The data matches your screenshot exactly. The initial 6 came out as 3 high likeness, 3 obvious misses. Change the first pass batch generation so low likeness outputs get repaired automatically. Nice. That is going to cost me more money, but nice. Okay, what I want to do is I want to keep a cost per thumbnail so I can know how much I'm spending on thumbnails overall and per thumbnail. So if I'm like regenerating myself, I know that costs more. But when you regenerate, it also costs more. So I want to make sure I'm keeping a ongoing tally of how much I'm spending on thumbnails for myself and for the future. I thought of something too that I was going to start keeping track of, which is how much time is this saving, right? So one of the things I think about is if I had to pay an employee to do it, how much hours would it take them and how much would I have to pay, right? So this is where if I can say I would have to pay a person X per hour and each one of these thumbnails to make 6 would have took them 2 hours, let's say 3 hours. It cost 13 cents and it took 10 minutes. That again starts to show the difference of what this means for jobs and your business. I really think what's going to happen is that people who take advantage of this early are going to profit ridiculously. Because if you could run a business that was paying for a couple employees, let's say you have 5 employees and you were paying, again, I'm making the math easy, and you were paying each $100,000. Again, maybe that's average $50,000, let's say. That means your business needed to pay out $250,000. That's not even counting if they're full-time and their taxes and retirement, all that stuff, right? So let's say $300,000 you have to pay for the 5 employees. This sucks to hear, but you got to hear it. Now, imagine not needing to pay that $250,000. You pay AI, even if it's $50,000 for the work of 5 people. And to be honest, I don't think it's gonna be 50,000. But let's say you were, then that 200,000 is your profit, more than whatever you were profiting before. That's what's going to happen. Think about it. Humans are greedy. Like I saw something that said there's a bunch of Fortune 500 companies that already know they can lay off 80% of their companies. They're not doing it because of the backlash, but eventually they will. And it's the worst it will ever be. So you have a choice. Either be an entrepreneur or just wait till the day you get fired. Maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I don't know. Depends on what your job is. And there was also this thing where it was showing, maybe I could find it while we wait. It was showing the likelihood and the percentage right now that AI is doing the job that's in the chart. I'll find it. Yeah, I don't know if... Yeah, this was it, actually. Let me find the chart to be bigger. Alright, let's just go to the first one. This is the chart right here. So, can you see that? Alright, let me make it a little bigger. Alright, so theoretical AI coverage, observed AI coverage. So again, office admin, theoretical, they already know it can do most of it. Sales, it's closer to be doing most of it than not. Business and finance, what StackIt.ai does, again, almost close to the end. I guess this is a different one because I can't tell what these all are. Computer and math, all these are here. Legal, pretty close. Arts and media, pretty close. Now, the problem with this chart is that it's not showing what these are here. So these, I'll look for the chart. These are like the trades. Plumber, electrician. Actually, let me find that because that's important to see. Let me find that. And maybe I'll just... Anthropic jobs. Let's see. Alright, this is the real chart right here. Okay. Management. Close to... What I'm telling you, right? I'm told you. It's already learning how I manage. And it's starting to say, you would want this, right? And I'm like, shit, you're starting to learn exactly what I would do. Business and finance. Told you. Computer and math. Look at that. Architecture, engineering. Not as close, but closer than not. But this is also theoretical, and then this is what's actually being seen and being used. So office admin is really moving. Sales, really moving, even though they don't think it can do it. It's still up there. Computer and math, up there. Business and finance, up there. Legal, up there. Education, up there, even though it doesn't think it can do it, it's still being used a lot. Arts and media, I see that myself. I know I can do crazy stuff now that I couldn't do before. Health practitioners, okay, that's still high, but not a lot viewed. Healthcare support, low. Protective services, low. I think that's like police, stuff like that. Security guard. Food serving, pretty low. Grounds maintenance, pretty low, which I call BS on that one. Because I've seen automated, like, the Roomba? I've seen Roombas for mowing lawns. So I don't know what that means, grounds maintenance. Personal care, pretty low. That's an industry, right? Like, I guess haircuts, massage therapists, maybe physical therapy. No, maybe that's healthcare support. Sales, again. Oh, wait, there's personal care, yep. So, agriculture, pretty low. But again, I've seen robots handling farms. construction. I've seen robots print houses. So again, you might not need to be a you may not replace the construction worker, but if you replace the thing the construction worker does, which is build the houses and stuff, do they have a job? Install and repair, pretty low. Production, I don't know what that means. Transportation, that is the biggest lie in the world. I have a Tesla, self-driving Tesla right now. I can drive without touching the wheel. So, jobs, I don't know. I don't know how that seems wrong. Okay. Still going. Any questions about any of that too? Because that's pretty scary if you really think about it. But what they say, the opportunity is here. It's all within these areas here. You got the opportunity to build AI things for this. But still, even in here, this is theoretical, not what's being done. So all of this is really the opportunity. Everything that's not red is the opportunity. And again, where do you want to be? What are you doing right now? What's your expertise? Because I'll tell you, one of the things I really see is that areas of expertise, still the AI is not better than if you knew that industry. So I'll give you examples. I was building, all right, so me and my team, I told you, we're building an AI agent friendly marketing campaign, basically. So we want AI agents to find Stack, do whatever they have to do to want to use it. So for agents, that's very different than humans. So I've been doing that. And in doing that, I've been seeing how different that world is. And again, most people have no idea what this is going to be. But I had to learn how to do it, and I wasn't a finance person. So I'm asking, but then I built what's called Sandbox for the agents to play around with different strategies. Because Stack has a default strategy, but you could do a bunch of different things in it, but the human has to go in and choose the strategies. So the AI agents could play with all that and try different things and see how it would have worked. If they tried that, they did that for like the last 5 months. Humans are not capable of doing all that, right? So I built it and then I showed it to my team. And my team looked at it and said, well, the way they told you to build it, they kind of lied to you about the way you built the server. So I built the server using what they recommended me. Because I didn't know better, I just said, okay. But then when my lead developers looked, they were like, yeah, that's not going to work. You need to do this. So then I went back and I said, well, my developer says this is not going to work because this and that. And it was like, oh, yeah, you're right. We should do it that way. So again, if I didn't have that person that had the higher level of skill, that had the expertise in that world, it wouldn't have worked. Would I have found out it didn't work and fixed it? Yes. But that would have took time. And I maybe have had it live and it wasn't working. And I realized, oh, it did something wrong and it could have cost me opportunity. But having the person that understood, it moved the needle quicker to what we needed. And I think that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing that if you have expertise with the AI knowledge, you're going to be extremely valuable. So with that's for jobs, for business, right? Because a lot of businesses sell to other businesses, right? Our job is selling to other business owners or wealthy people, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you're selling to somebody. Your job, you don't have one boss. You have however many clients are your bosses. So think about that and say, okay, what are the expertise areas I have? Areas of expertise that I've built up over my career. Now let me take that and put it towards AI and maybe build AI employees within that expertise. And truthfully, I'm telling you that, and I did the exact opposite. I wasn't in the finance space. So even if you don't have it, you benefit either way, because if you don't have it, you don't have old bad habits. And if you do have it, you're going to know how to do things better than other people. certain things, but you may be stuck with the bad habits. So there's like a balance. But the truth is, right now, AI just doesn't know how to give you the right answers. I did see something today, though, twice, where I think they're starting to update the models to do it. So one of the big challenges is when you're working on businesses and you want to bring other people to work with you, there's only two ways. You either give them equity or you give them money, right? So equity means they own part of the business. You don't want to give that away willy-nilly and then the person disappears and doesn't do what they're supposed to do and now they own part of your company. So there's all kind of things in place for people to give away equity in their businesses based on what people do. So I've been thinking about this for years because I'm in the startup world. I'm always trying to figure out how to make things fair for everybody because most startups start out 50-50. So let's say me and you had an idea. I'm going to build it. You're going to sell it 50-50. But then inevitably, one of us doesn't keep up with the other one. So now there becomes problems because it's like, well, I'm doing 80% of the work. You're doing 20% of the work, but you own 50%. That's not fair. So that's a lot of the reason businesses fail, especially startups. But there's systems where you can have the equity change based on what people are doing. That's totally fair because if I'm doing 80%, you're doing 20, I should own 80 because I'm doing 80% of the work. But that's very hard to figure out. So today, I started to talk to the AI about it because I'm thinking about it for many other ideas I have. So there's a system I've been trying for many years called Slicing Pie. There's a book about it. I spoke to the guy many times. Very cool guy, Mike Montgomery, I think his name is. You can go to slicingpie.com. It's a good system. The problem I've had in the past is the way he tracks equity is based on time or money. So if I put money in, my equity is based on how much money I put in, but it has a value. It has a different value than if I put in time. So if I put in 100 hours and you put in $100,000, our equity is based on those two inputs. The problem is it's really hard to track time. I'm very bad at it. I hate doing it. My co-founders in the past have hated doing it. We just never did it. So the Slicing Pie didn't really work for us. But now there's a huge problem because time doesn't mean the same thing for everybody. My hour and your hour is not even close anymore. I can do 10 times more probably because of all the AI stuff I know. So if you say, hey, I spent an hour today and I spent an hour, my hour is with 10 other AI agents. So I'm doing, and an agent, 1 hour of agent work is way more than human work. So that really affects the value exchange for equity. So I'm like, how is this going to work in the age of AI? So I've been going back and forth with the AI asking, hey, how do you think it should work? How could I blend these ideas? So I'm asking and it was telling me. And then it got to a point where it said, actually, there's another thing that may work for you. Do you want me to show you? And I think that was the first time that I saw that it knew what I was trying to do and it knew something that I didn't know. So it was trying to tell me, I know you're not going to know to ask this, but here is another system that might work for you. And that was interesting. I think we're getting to the point now where even your better knowledge of that industry or that world is going to slowly go away too. So I think the best high leverage thing to do right now is what I'm doing right now. Create content. Put your face out there. Make sure you're meeting people. We don't know what this is going to be. Grow your network as fast as possible, as big as possible, because that just gives you more opportunities. Second, I think you need to be playing with this stuff all day, every day, if you can. But again, I had a meeting today with the customer that I'm onboarding, and he was like, well, the difference with you is you get to do this all day long. I'm going to be able to do it, but when I'm done with my job. And I was like, you know what? That is true. I'm not only lucky that I have a couple months on everybody, I'm also lucky that my job is building this for my company. So I'm able to like really ramp it up. And I understand people that have a real job, that have to be in an office, that they can't be running Claude Code all day. You're not going to be able to get there as fast, but whatever time you have, you're still ahead of 99.9% of the human race. So just start, right? And I told you, look, this is your opportunity right here. You want to take a screenshot of this? Maybe I'll put it in the comments. Let's see if I can put it in the comments, actually. Actually, never tried to do that. Let me know if you can see that. Can you see that? Actually, it only goes to YouTube. It didn't go to Twitter, huh? All right, sorry, Twitter. I'm not sure why, but you know what? I'll go to Twitter myself. Thank you for all you watching live, too. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. I'm really trying to get this going, and I have been talking to people, and they're watching not live or live, so I super appreciate it. Okay, so I'm posting it to Twitter right now. For the people watching Twitter, should be under the video. Like that if you see it. And then LinkedIn is another one I forget to log into often, because I can't see the comments there. And I don't even think on LinkedIn I could see them live anyway. But I do get people watching on LinkedIn. So this is I think there's a big opportunity because everybody's starting from the same point. We're all a couple months earlier than you. That's it. Nobody is 5 years earlier than you right now, because it only really got good 3 months ago. Like, really good. Before, it was a pain. If you wanted to fight through this, you could, and you were a warrior, because I couldn't either. Like, I was like, I'm not dealing with this. My team was, though. And I was watching them get better and better and better. But then I started seeing, hold on, they're talking a lot about this on Twitter, about how much better it got. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to do one of the hardest things. Actually, again, I recommend this too. One of the hardest things to do is build a game. Game is one of the hardest projects to code. So that's how I started. I started by building a game. And when they updated, I think it was to 4.5 Claude, it was just working. And I had like a certain amount of credits to try. And then when it ended, it wasn't working as well. And I was like, you know what? It's just not there yet, but it's going to be there. When I can use the model that I was using all day, every day, it was just very expensive because it just came out. They gave me a certain amount with the dollars I'm spending. And it ended. And I'm like, oh, as soon as it ended, it just became very bad. But I'm like, every time it makes a game, it's going to be way better. And then in November, I started seeing on Twitter, like, are you seeing this? Like, this stuff is getting ridiculous. So I was watching. And then Christmas, I was like, all right, I got some time. Let me try it. And that was when I jumped in. All right, so added persistent thumbnail spend tracking locally. Awesome. It now shows up in the UI. All right. Let's go back to, where is my thumbnail? There it is. All right. So let's see, hard refresh. I don't know where it puts the value. Maybe it just didn't know, so I got to create a new thumbnail. So let me find a video that doesn't have a thumbnail. I'm going to go through my YouTube. And this is the thing. Just updating your thumbnails on your YouTube could grow your YouTube channel. It's just most people don't have the time or the money to pay thumbnail designers, right? So now I'm going to be able to go through all my history of YouTube and say, make me a thumbnail for this. All right, so I'm actually going to look for a video that did pretty decent, that didn't have a good thumbnail. and I'm gonna update that. Okay. All right. So my videos that have gone good. All right. Let's see this one. So I'm gonna. I don't know, cause I do this reaction stuff and they get good views. It's just I didn't want to be a reaction channel, so they all look kind of like this though. So I don't really want to do that. This is an old video from 2020. I don't think anybody's gonna watch that. Same thing, reaction video, old video, reaction video, reaction video, old video, reaction video, old video, old video. So maybe I've been doing a better job of making thumbnails actually. I don't want to do these car videos. I want to keep those thumbnails. All right, let's do this one right here. Boom. All right, perfect. So I'm gonna take out 2025 because if you knew it's 2025, you're not gonna watch because it's 2026. So I'm gonna save this, and we're gonna do this one. Let's see. Okay. So 83 cents. Let's see. And of course, any questions, like I said, I'm always trying to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have a question, let me know. Actually, let's see what Maya and the team have been working on, because I was meeting with the client today. I think I stopped dealing with this around. But look, this is all this morning. So check it out. It was cutting up clips from the long video that I did a couple days ago, and it was trying to give me the clip so I know, is this a good clip to make a short? And it was asking me for my opinion, and I was giving it my opinion, like, no, because you ended in a bad point on this video. But look, I'm basically out, and it's sending me video clips based on it using my computer. We living in crazy times, man. This is a Saturday at 9:43 a.m. It's working, taking clips from different videos, trying to figure out the best clip. This is no joke, man. So let's see where we ended. What was the last thing I spoke to it about? I want to say... All right, that's... Okay. Actually, I'm going to just ask. Where are you today? What do I owe you? What do you need to get more work done? Let's see what it says. While those videos render. Oops. So, okay, it's typing. Generate prompt with Claude. It seems stuck. The site kind of seems stuck. I pressed, but it's like not doing anything for a while. So let it fix that. I don't know, using SafePack. I don't know. We'll see what's going on there. All right, answer me. Today I'm mostly here. Where am I? Content engine. Shifted from cut wherever to score QA learn. So this is what I was showing you. It was sending me clips. I was telling it, I don't really like that. So I said, why don't you come up with like a scoring system where you can learn? Because again, what you have to do is, think about it like an employee, right? You don't want to create an employee that doesn't learn. So you want to say, what could I do to help you learn? So instead of me telling you this every single time, eventually you do it the way I want it. So now it's basically keeping track of what I ask, but then it's also keeping track of, each project is putting learning into each project. So it created a whole thing. So I was supposed to do this, actually. I got to do that. So look, what you owe me. Okay, so wait. Sandbox, stack strategy, define the core direction. All right, so hourly market tape, live and saving. So there's another thing I did today. So for financial products, you have to be able to back test, meaning test your strategy. The problem is, a lot of these companies, they charge you for that data. So I'm like, I could start saving that data now myself. I could tell the AI every hour, go check the things I'm looking for, save it in a database, and eventually we'll back test on my own data. In 5 years, I'll have the data that I have to pay for now for the past 5 years. So I'm doing that. That's what the hourly market tape is. Private market data dashboard. All right, so that I haven't looked at, but it built it. Repo mapping, cleaner now. You owe me right now. Invite me to the Stack front-end repo. Invite me to the Stack back-end repo. I'm pretty sure I already did, but it doesn't open. Let me just ask one more time. I'm pretty sure you already have access to this because when we were talking about you educating me on the repo and teaching me what you know about the project, you were able to see it. Can you just double check that you don't have access? So again, talking to it like a regular person. Those are the two big ones. Okay, I'll do that. What I need to get more work done. Highest leverage. Repo access. Your feedback on the QA clips. Bad ending, yep. So again, it's giving me work to do. Eventually, my AI agent will do that work. I still have to do it right now because it doesn't know better, but eventually I won't. Okay, so what's already moving without you? So nice to have. If you want the QA page to be actually useful, fast, approve, reject, Telegram fallback tied into the same feedback store. Let me see. Are you asking me if we should do this? Okay, then what's already moving without you? Market data collection, what I was just telling you. Dashboard generation, created, I need to see it. Content scoring, QA structure, that's what I gotta do. The sandbox strategy, spec direction. So again, this is all this morning, from this morning. Saturday morning, starting at like 9 a.m. or something like that. It's been working. What's blocked on you? Stack store front end, back end work. Anything that depends on those repos, faster content learning, that's on me. Short version, you owe me. Front end, back end. That's the main unlock. All right. I'll check both repos directly right now. Yep, you were right. See? I do already have access to both. So you do not owe me that anymore. So I should have asked that before. But what you owe me now is basically just useful feedback when you review the clips. Any repo context gaps. All right, that's it. Yes, my answer is yes, we should do it. See? So, okay. Okay, do it. Because right now QA page is half useful. You can review. So again, I'm going to say, when it's something you really think we should do, just do it. Again, unless there's something that's irreversible that you should really ask me. If it's something we can easily change, just do it. So that comes from Jeff Bezos. There's what he calls one-door problems and two-door problems, I think. But basically, he says if there's a problem that is a two-door problem, that means you can go in and come back out. And if it's a problem and you need to just reverse whatever you did, you could do it. Or there's one-door problems where once you do it, there's no point of return. So those are irreversible decisions. So I tell the AI, just don't make irreversible decisions without me. Make reversible ones. And that's how Jeff Bezos was able to grow Amazon. He gave his employees that same idea. If it's something that we can easily change, just speed is everything. Keep going. So now, speed is everything with AI. Look how much lines of code is doing. Speed, And again, this is me managing this one. My goal eventually is going to be everything's going to be handled by Maya and a team of AI agents. Okay, I'm adding QA feedback flow now. All right, good, logged. Rule now. If it's reversible, internal improvement, and I think it's clearly the right move, I should just do it. If it's irreversible, risky, external, public, high blast radius, I ask. That's a better operating rule. Again, crazy times. We live in amazing times. I hope you are all taking advantage of what is possible. But this definitely broke. It did not do anything. Alright, so let's see. It was a real hang state. The last thumbnail run crashed during Claude prompt. Okay. I also marked the already stuck project as failed. Restarted the local server. Okay. So I'm going to do that again. Can I do this? Generating prompts with Claude. Should I just... I refreshed, but it still looks like it's stuck. So again, this is the, so you know how they say, you know, every business has its hard parts. With tech, things break all the time. Things update, APIs change, all stuff. It's always something. So you can't just think you're going to set it and forget it. Right? So one of the other things I may build is a doctor for my projects. So it will see the health of the project, if everything's running the right way. If something's not running the right way, go in there and fix it. Do surgery, fix the problem, and get it running again. So again, there's endless things. This is why I do think AI is not going to be a hindrance. I think it's going to create a lot more things that don't exist right now. Like this wouldn't exist. A lot of what I'm doing right now wouldn't exist if it wasn't for AI. So if you could think of all the things you would do that can't exist right now, do them. Try them. Just go. It'll basically cost you starting $20 a month. If you get into it and it start really to work, then it costs $100 a month, $200 a month. You could choose. Claude has a $100 plan. ChatGPT has a $200 plan. Claude also has a $200 plan. So start with the 20. Start making something. And if you can justify the upgrade, do it, because it's a major upgrade. You get 20 times more compute, meaning more interactions. So it's like no joke. Basically, another thing that happened to me this morning was I really recognized that I was going above my Claude usage. And as you can see, basically I'm at 84%, and we reset on Wednesday. So it's Saturday. So that means Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I got 5 days and I'm already 84%. So I got to slow down on using Claude. So what am I doing? I'm using Codex. If you see, Codex is coding this. I'm using Codex for my brain for Maya. So actually, let me make 100% sure that that's what's happening. I'm seeing that the Claude usage is still going up. Is there anything we're doing on our side that's making that happen? Or could it be just one of my team members? No, that's not what I meant. So, yeah, because this morning it was like 78. But I do have a team that works around the world, different times, and they have access. And I also lowered this plan because I never got to the finish of this plan. And of course, now I'm like, damn, I might need to go back up to the $200 plan. And the way they do it, they'll bill you when you go over, right? They'll just bill you by the compute. And look, I had like an amount there they can bill me. And look, I'm already 52% of that. So I just got to chill on Claude for a while. And I'll tell my team. And then I can look, we can check the same thing on Codex, which I do have the $200 plan on Codex. So here you go /status. And you can see, so for this one, I'm at 54%. It updates on March 18th, so in 4 days. So it's a little more likely that I'll make this one. But I am starting to do more, right? Like Maya's working 24/7, so that's going to cost more. So I'm going to have to reach a sweet spot where I say, okay, either I just stay within the $400, $200. I've heard people having multiple plans, like 5, 6 plans, whatever. But you got to do that math, right? I got to say, okay, only work on things that could generate money right now. No more creating project idea 17. We only work on Stack. We only work on Content Engine. That's it. And then my team, they only work on Stack. So we'll maximize usage like that and see what happens. Because my content creates more marketing, creates more customers, creates more dollars, right? So that's essential. So I'll do that. And I'm also using local models. So let me see what it says. Could be either me, this main session, spawn sub-agents I kick off. Well, I meant Claude. Like, are we using Claude.ai for anything? Because right now the main chat is 5.4, not Claude. So are we spinning up sub-agents using Claude code? If we are, let's stop for now, because I'm going to run out of credits. So this is how I manage it too. This is very important. Because I'll wake up and there's a bunch of questions. So I'll have to catch up to the question. So I go all the way to the top. I answer. But when I answer, it puts it on the bottom and it answers me. But I got to go through all the previous questions before I get to that bottom new answer. So it's a trek to go through and get caught up. So this is where my training of me can say, what do you think I would do? What do you think I would do? Right? So I'm going to start doing that. Literally, you'll see. Because again, the more I can train that to do the reversible choices, then it's less I have to deal with it. But I do recognize the more I give it the ability to answer without me, the more tokens are going to be spent, right? Because it's just... So there's a balance of how much you want to allow based on what you could afford. Now, I was telling somebody this yesterday. This is where the financial divide is going to get worse and worse. Think about it. If you're a person that can only spend $20 a month on Claude or ChatGPT, you're limited on what you can do. I could spend $200. I could do 20 times more than you. It's not, they don't give you 10 times, they give you 20 times more, right? So I can do way more by spending $200, but you could only afford 20, so you could only do this much. I could afford 200, so I could do this much. What about the person that could afford to spend 20,000 a day? Imagine what they can do. Mind-boggling stuff, right? Imagine like a person that could have 30 of these building 20 businesses all day, all night. How do you compete with that? And that's what's happening. All right, so main session spawn. What I can say confidently, today I have done a decent amount of work, including sub-agents, so some of the usage is definitely on our side. But I can't blame it all on this chat without checking the active recent sessions. If you want, I can check the recent OpenClaw sessions. Yes, do that. I want to just make sure I understand. All right, so then I scroll back up to the last question I answered. Right? I answered this one. So now, tell us they'll tell us fast whether it's been us or your team. Then probably not much from me right now. All right, so if Claude usage is climbing, the likely cause you or your team. Yeah. If you want, I can check the machine for running Claude processes. Yeah, okay. No, right now we are not intentionally using Claude Code for work I'm doing here. Okay. Today's bigger tasks I spawned were through OpenClaw subagents. The active main chat is 5.4. That's Codex. I'm not planning to spin up Claude Code now, so yes, let's lock this rule. No Claude Code. If your Claude Code credits are still dropping, it's probably coming from another session. Teammate, yeah. Okay. Need use session status, maybe could apply session log skill. User ask inspect sessions. No need use session. I think it's like talking to itself. I'm checking this session's own usage card plus whether any subagents are still hanging around. Here's the clean read. What I can confirm, this main chat 5.4, no active subagents. From what I can see here, we're not currently burning Claude credits. Okay. What that means, if your Claude usage is still going up, it's probably not what I'm doing right now. Okay, so it's probably my team. Limits of what I can see. From this session, I cannot fully audit your teammates separate. Yeah, that makes sense. So the likely cause somewhere in your team is using Claude. Another Claude tab, CLI, some automation outside. All right. Best conclusion, our current main flow is not Claude problem. All right. So it is the team. Okay. It isn't stuck right now. Let's see. As you can see, it's a little bit of a mind bender to manage, right? Right now, managing thumbnail project, content project, stack, sandbox. Those are the three main things that are the highest leverage for me. Okay, so now, better. They only have random guy once. These actually all kind of look like me. Much better. I think higher percentage. All right, it's telling me the amount, 16 cents, 16 cents. Pretty cool. All right, the highest click-through rate is one that's not me. That's funny. Let's see if I can get it to change this. All right. Disagree, 0. Save that. Then face. Make this look more like me. All right. Let's see what happens now. See, so once I put it, doesn't look like me, it lowered where it put it in position. That's cool. Why did it do the secret again, though? How AI agents will disrupt business and wealth. No humans take over. I don't know where it's getting the secret. Actually, when I look at that, it don't really look like me. That one looks a lot like me, I think. AI takeover is coming. Pretty decent. Act now. Pretty good. That's funny. It don't really totally look like me, but doesn't not look like me that much. That definitely doesn't look like me. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. It worked. It updated it and it fixed it to look like me. So now it believes this has the highest click-through rate. There you go. We got it working. I didn't even get to do the new feature. But I guess we'll do that tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching, hanging out with me. Definitely any questions, ask anytime. Join the free community, link in the description. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, put on notifications. Every day, 7 p.m. Eastern time, I will be live building or talking about building. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your Saturday. See you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern.